Welcome, everybody, to the Content Profit Show. This is Jeff Herring, your host, and we hope you had a wonderful holiday. And this being one of those federal holidays, maybe some of you got some time off. I texted one of my buddies in Orlando that works at a bank this morning. I said, in honor of you having an entire day off, I'm going to take half a day off. He's like, yeah, sure you will. So anyway, welcome aboard. We got a great show today, and I'll introduce you to the main event guest in just a minute. We can wave at her over there. Coming up, we're doing something very. I never thought the words "very unique" in what I'm about to say. Happy New Year, Linda. Would come together. Okay, but I'm doing a very unique thing called a webinar. I haven't done a webinar in almost a year. And so we're doing one Thursday at 4 o'clock. That's January 5th at 4 o'clock. All about, what would you guess? Content profit. How about that? And so you'll get information about that tomorrow. And you get to try out a new system with me too. Because now StreamYard, what we're using right now, you can do webinars with it. And I figured out some cool things this morning while I was taking half a day off. So we're doing that instead, in lieu of any additional shows this week. And then next week, we pick up with the bada bing, bada boom schedule. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 times a week from now on. And we have a full week next week and lots of people trying to find room. So, and you know what? If you want to be one of the people that gets on the show, you need to go to the contentprofitshow.com/guest. The contentprofitshow.com/guest. Now, on to the main event. I want you to meet Cynthia Alexander of Break Free from Clutter, who is an expert at all things to do with organization, right? We're talking home, we're talking business, we're talking even car. Yeah?
Sure. Yes.
How would you organize a car?
First thing you do is take all the stuff out that's trash and throw it in the trash. And next time you pass the service station, you put it in it. Order thing in the console. Don't keep stuff. And put a container in the back, one of those organizing containers where you can put miscellaneous stuff in the trunk.
I like that. I like that. You'd have loved what I did. Gosh, I don't know how many years ago, almost 20. It was a very bitter cold Christmas in Tallahassee where I lived, and the kids and their mom had gone down to Orlando to visit relatives. And I walked out in the garage one day and went, "This is ridiculous," and just decided I was going to organize it. So I did that exact thing. It was like, where do I start? I'm like, all right, everything's going in the garage. I mean, in the driveway, right? People were stopping for the garage sale that didn't exist and all that. And one of the things I did was I put up the garage door opener we had bought, right? And so I get it all up there and everything's lined up and it just won't work. And it's the instruction book is troubleshooting saying the beams aren't aligned. Well, I thought they meant the beams in the ceiling. So I make 2 or 3 trips to Home Depot to get different things to set them up. One time opened my hand so bad I put my hand up on the ceiling, left the big bloody palm print. One of my neighbors, Ed, came by and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to get this up and everything looks right, but they're telling me the beams, aren't right." And he started laughing. I'm like, "I've done something dumb, right?" He goes, "Yeah. They mean the beams down here on the floor, to catch the thing going up, right?" And I hung my head and I went, I just don't want to look up. I don't want to look up. I just felt so dumb. So anyway, let's go to your article. Add to stream. And through the magic of internet marketing, there it is. That's pretty amazing. Here, let's make it a little bit bigger for everybody. All right, so 3 office organizing barriers, mastering your time, money, and resources. I like your profile. I help you find storage space hiding in plain sight. I love this. No need to build another room. Discover how, and there's a link. Awesome. DallasOrganizing.com/free-report. And that's a live link, yes?
Yes.
So all the folks live here with us can grab it, and anybody listening to the replay or watching the replay can grab it as well. All right. So I like what you've done here. This is a neat thing you did with the title, and then you name the three things: mastering your time, money, resources. Excuse me. It's a very interesting. Is that a clock?
Yes.
Looks like one, but looks like many other things.
Time.
Office organizing barrier number one. Isn't that what hangs a lot of people up? I just don't have time to get organized. What's your answer to that?
I spend more time procrastinating than it takes me to get it done once I start.
Yeah.
It's like, that was so easy. I could have done it already.
Yes. So what you're saying is people, they have enough time. They just got to find it.
Just a matter of deciding to do it and then do it.
You know, and you lift out a really important principle there because, you know, I'm gifted at procrastination too. And I learned this long ago. Putting something off is a powerful thing because it makes things that would take a little bit of time feel like they're going to take forever, and things that are easy like they're really, really hard. And then you finally go do it and you're like, what? Okay. So good one to start with. If you have a long list of tasks, the brain goes into clutter mode. I think that's me that did that. Yeah, I highlighted that because I like that. The brain goes into clutter mode. What's that meme about? My brain's like my computer. 17 tabs are open, 3 of them are frozen, and I have no idea where the music's coming from.
The biggest thing for me is there's so much clutter out there between television and all the things to do, is your brain just sort of freezes. Or mine does. It's like, no, I can't add one more thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do nothing.
You feel like you're full.
Yeah. Actually, I walk in and I go, oh, I think I need to take a nap.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything. Yeah. Anything but. Office organizing barrier number 2. Not having enough money can be overcome by making a plan. You need paper for a printer, put it on the list. So you don't got to get everything at once. You just make a list and knock them off as you go.
One of the worst things people do is go out and buy a bunch of stuff to organize, and they don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you organize all the clutter, then you just got organized clutter.
So you mean like if you break free from clutter, you can
Exactly.
do these things. Oh,
Take it to the curb.
how about that? I like it. I like it. That would be a good title for an article. Kick it to the curb, or a section in a book, or a section in a course. All
When,
right.
when I organize for clients, I do them the benefit of I take away what we throw away so they can't go back and get it. They think I'm doing them a favor, but I am. But it's not the taking it away part. It's the fact they can't go back and pull it out.
That's powerful. That's kind of like, do people ever get upset or anxious about that? Like
No,
they do on that show Hoarders?
no, they're so glad by the time we get through. And I don't just come do it.
Right.
We do it together.
Okay. Okay.
It's their decision. I do not shame or anything like that.
That makes sense. That makes sense. The psychologist in my brain watches that hoarder show and just think, how do you get there? And of course, the answer is a little bit at a time. You know, nobody goes, "Hey, come throw a dump truck in my living room." But I remember when I was first up here, and I'll leave the names out. But I was having dinner with some friends, and the woman was describing her mom, and she said 2 things about her. And I said, and her hallways are filled with newspapers stacked waist high or higher, and it's hard to find a place to sit down. And she was like, "How did you know that?" I said, "Well, it's the profile you just described. A lot of people do that." I found a box when moving years ago that had Reader's Digest in it from the 70s. You know, it's like, what, why? You know? Office organizing barrier number 3, um, dreaming instead of planning. I like that. And here's the key part: take a little bite of that big dream. I like this: hire a teenager or college student. I like that a lot. Or as my buddy Tommy Antion says, wake a high school kid up from his nap. Um, Trello's a big thing. Okay, so we got a good start here, and then you've got a bonus. I love that picture. That's funny. Um, make good use of time and resources. Works and plays well with others. I always got marked on mine. Is very, very social. Like, who, me? Years ago, I got rid of, I'm reading a comment. Years ago, I got rid of all the National Geographics my late ex was saving. There are media resale shops that may take them. There you go. That's a good idea.
I would have burned them.
You burned them? Well,
I
that
would
could
have,
work
but it's
too.
my ex.
Um, well, yeah, there is that. So, Facebook user, identify yourself because you're coming up as Facebook user. But thank you for your comment. Okay, so, and then down here, there's a bonus, right? Yeah. Get control by controlling what you can and have a plan. Yep. I thought that was you, Wendy. Um, awesome. Cool cat. All right. So let's go over here into Cynthia's new digital empire. And from this Medium article that's going to drive traffic, you had talked about wanting to create a mini course to start. Okay.
Yes.
Where'd that idea come from?
It teaches things in a sequence because your mind can't handle all this at once. If you come in and clean out for somebody, just like dump everything,
Yeah.
within a year, it'll all be back.
Yeah.
So they need to know why they're doing it, make the decision to do it, and then take activity, and then come back and congratulate themselves and see what the next step is.
I like that. Celebrate. Okay. So well, all that has to be done, folks, to create a mini course. And let's just say this from the get-go. A mini e-course can be a lead magnet that's free, that gives people a good taste of you, and you get several contacts with them, or it can be a mini e-course that's a low fee kind of thing. Either one. I would do more in the paid course than I would in the free course, but it's a good lead generator too. My first mini e-course was multiple streams of article income um, years ago. We're talking like '08. And
I still have it.
do you really? I knew we'd been together a while. Wow, listen, that's good social proof. Thank you, Cynthia. Um, do you remember how it had a thing where I sent you an article and a video and then homework, and you were supposed to complete it and send it back to me, and then I'd make comments and send it back, which is a great bonus idea, folks, for e-courses, because then not only are people getting a taste of you once a week or whenever, they're also getting a taste of your coaching, okay, which sets up more stuff. So mini e-course. Um, let's see. They've gotten the taste of the mini e-course. Let's bump them up next to a course, okay? Perhaps even a mini course. We'd have to think that through. Um, but they've already experienced you this way. Now they get to experience you live. And then next would be, I'd call it a signature course. So whatever, as we work together and we identify your pillars, that's what the signature course would be, a module for each. I'm sorry, folks. Forgive me. And what we can do with that, working backwards, then, is every one of those pillars, modules, could become another course too. And so people take module one separately and then want to go on to the signature course. And then Cynthia, your niche screams for, begs for, demands some kind of membership. Okay. Because there are so many people in so many places that need to get organized. I remember when I was done with my summer as a virtual nomad, and I had decided to really downsize for a while, and so I was looking at several apartment homes, and I was so close to getting one. I mean, I was actually going to sign the papers that day, and just a little nudge in my head said, "No, try this one place again." Well, I did. That was a Tuesday, and I was in on Friday. She said I set the record. The thing that she said that helped was she goes, I couldn't believe how organized you are. I asked for something and you sent it to me in 5 minutes. I'm like, well, yeah, because my brain's not naturally that way, but I've worked with good people like Cynthia and figured out it. See, to me, Cynthia, the big thing for you and the selling point for all of this, but especially a membership site, is like right now, last several months, I've been converting almost everything over from one platform to another, and it's a heck of a lot of front end work. And I always already see it making things easier. And when I get done with it in a few weeks, it's going to be heaven without the inconvenience of dying. And I think that's what organization does. Is it takes such a load off. It gives you so much more free time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it all goes back to clutter. And it just, for me, it just freezes me. And I get so upset at myself if I am wasting time looking for something that I should have known where it was.
So that's the key, huh? Clutter.
Mhm.
Clutter is the key.
Extraneous stuff that has no purpose.
My mind's bouncing in so many ways because I think of like relationship clutter or emotional clutter or mental clutter, and things that happened years ago that keep popping up is clutter, right?
Yes, a big thing, a big form of clutter is taking the space to be angry and unforgiving. That takes a huge amount of your time and your mental energy. So it is a gift you give yourself when you forgive.
You just said taking the space to be angry and unforgiving. Wow. So what you're saying is that's a decision.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So we got the beginnings of an empire here, Miss Alexander. Um, Now, let me ask you this. We do this over this one article, over this one notion. Okay. Mini course. Whoops. I did that. Huh. Oh, yeah, that's right. Mini course, mini e course, mini course, signature course. You know what I want to do? I'm going to change this. Um, I'm going to try to change this into being a course because I want it to be a little bit more of a jump from mini course, mini e course to, to course. Okay, so mini course, mini e course, course, signature course membership. Um, how many other once this is built, how many other topics within your niche could this system here be applied to?
A lot. Because you can take it, for me, the thing I'm really interested in is productivity.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you organize in ways that you can be more productive, because we only have X amount of time, and my goal for this year is to do more of less. Yeah, yeah, do more of less. Is come down to the things that are important and spend my time on that instead of little droppings here and there, um, and not really having anything to show.
Do more of less.
More of less.
I like that a lot. I like that. That sounds like a chapter in your book or
Yep.
a course or membership, um, etc. So yeah, and all the different ways. I mean, you could have in a membership, you could do one training and one Q&A a month, and just on what you have in your mind right now, you could fill up a year, right? Um, so this could just go on and beautifully on. All right. So as we begin to wrap up here, Cynthia, any questions?
What is any of this? Would that fit under the master class umbrella?
Um, a master class, it kind of goes like this. Well, a master class would be somewhere in between here. Okay. Um, it might be a nice fit um, for a part way point between these two. So master class. Because then you're taking them from they've experienced you by email. Now they're going to experience you for 2 or 3 hours on one topic in a master class. So, yay, I like that. I like that a lot. Actually, that I think that makes this better. So,
Okay.
thanks. So, mini course to master class to course, the signature course to membership, and of course, pun intended. Um, People can come in anywhere here. They don't have to start with mini e-course. They can go straight to
Absolutely.
membership or signature course. The reason I say that, it sounds so obvious, but I've worked with people that have told me my coach said I got to start here with the mini e-course. I'm like, that's just dumb. For two reasons. It hurts the person because they're not getting the help, and it hurts you because you're not getting the income. So it's just that never made a whole lot of sense to me.
So what's the difference between a master class and a course?
Okay. Any kind of courses. A mini course is like 2 or 3 modules. A course is like 3 to 5. A signature course is like 5 to 7 modules, whereas a master class is a one-shot deal.
Okay.
Okay. If you think back several summers ago when I did the first one on creating profitable articles, it was about a 2.5 hour show where we just focused on one thing and you left with something done. Okay. So it's think of it as a one shot deal versus a several part deal, one module versus more than one. Thank you for being such a great guest. I knew you would be.
Well, thank you.
Um, and thank you for helping out the people that are listening here live or watching or listening on the replay, because I bet you everybody needs a piece of this. So, folks, if you want to sit in Cynthia's seat, and I don't mean coming over your house, Cynthia, I mean where you are now on the show, being a guest, you go to thecontentprofitshow.com/guest, thecontentprofitshow.com/guest, and just fill that out and come on board. We'll get you scheduled and we'll have a blast just like Miss Cynthia and I have done today. So, folks, until then, you know what to do. You got to go use this stuff, right? And we will catch you next time. Mike Stewart had no idea what he was doing when he created that tune.
Oh, absolutely.
Cynthia, good job. This really is the beginning. Oops, I haven't ended the broadcast. Hi, everybody. It's a good thing we didn't say anything bad because we're still live. So we're going to end the broadcast now. Bye bye. Wave bye, Cindy. Wait, Cynthia. Wave bye bye. Okay, here we go. Jeez, Jeff.